Let's face it, no one likes getting less than they bargained for. Unfortunately, when we purchase products and services, we usually have to rely on the claims and promises of the advertiser. We simply don't have the required time or resources to thoroughly investigate all the products and services available before every purchase. And even if we did have the time, we might not always know what to look for. However, there are some situations where getting inferior services or products could lead to serious consequences. In these circumstances, the competency of the service provider or quality of the product is so important that we depend on someone else to evaluate and verify their quality. Sometimes it's the government, other times it's a professional organization. In either case, consumers are better off relying on a standard-setting body of experts to establish testing and auditing requirements for their protection. For the next few minutes, we'll explain why verifying the qualifications of your organization's data disposal service provider is important, and how NAID AAA certification already serves that purpose for thousands of organizations. As you might have guessed, the need for secure data destruction has grown dramatically. This growth is attributed to media attention in identity theft, privacy rights, and data breaches over the last decade. Most organizations now realize they have to destroy the sensitive information on the computers and paper they discard, so they are increasingly turning to companies that specialize in this type of service. Unfortunately, while the need for data destruction services has increased, consumers in need of those services have not been equipped to evaluate qualifications of the service providers. As you can imagine, this is a recipe for trouble.
Companies today providing data destruction services have a wide variety of security, from the highest to absolutely the lowest or none at all. So it's very difficult for a consumer to know exactly who they're dealing with. When the FTC wrote the original requirement for document destruction, they were concerned that there would be a rush to the marketplace by unqualified companies. In fact, they were so concerned when they wrote the regulation that they recommended in there that customers select a company that was certified by a national trade association.
To help protect businesses and consumers, the FTC has provided some guidance on selecting a data destruction company. Among their suggestions was a recommendation that such vendors be certified by a recognized trade association. At the time, the FTC was fully aware that NAID was, and continues to be, the only consumer protection watchdog association that audits the qualifications of data destruction service providers around the world. The FTC was simply acknowledging what thousands of government offices and private businesses have already come to realize. Instead of relying on unknown service providers' claims and promises, a third-party certification by a trusted expert organization provides a much better way to qualify a reputable data destruction service. The effectiveness of NAID AAA certification starts with its security specifications. Available on the association's website, these specifications identify more than 20 areas of operational and security requirements, including particle size, employee screening and training, access control, transport, video surveillance, procedures, and record keeping. These specifications and policies have been developed and improved over the years by industry professionals, as well as outside professionally accredited security, information management, and information technology advisors. It is also important to note that NAID AAA certification verifies service providers have written policies and procedures that are compliant with data protection regulations as well.
The way the data protection regulations are written, it's actually the customer's responsibility to make sure the service provider has specific language in their policies and procedures. One of the nice things about NAID certification is that our auditors verify that language is there. So in a really meaningful way, they're not only validating the service provider's compliance, they're validating the customer's compliance as well.
NAID AAA certification currently verifies the regulatory compliance, written procedures, and overall security for over 900 mobile shredding services, plant-based destruction services, as well as computer recycling and IT asset management services in the United States, Canada, England, Germany, Spain, Australia, South Africa, Hong Kong, and a growing list of countries around the world. If the foundation of NAID AAA certification lies in its specifications, its strength lies in the quality of its audits and auditing methodology.
Can you show me this?
NAID's international network of highly qualified, independent, accredited security auditors are trained to know exactly what to look for. And best of all, NAID certified organizations are usually audited without warning. This surprise audit approach has proven very effective in maintaining daily compliance.
In the beginning, NAID audits were a once-a-year scheduled event, so folks could get themselves all spruced up and be ready for that event. Several years ago, NAID implemented the unannounced audit plan with the purpose of taking a look at the rates of compliance during the scheduled audit versus and in comparison to the rates of compliance for the unannounced audits. They stepped up the unannounced audits and increased fines and sanctions for noncompliance. Within a year, what NAID found was that the compliance rates on the unannounced audits improved to be nearly the same as the compliance rates on the scheduled events, which was exactly what we hoped would happen. Scheduled annual audit programs are largely ineffective because they only guarantee that a service provider is compliant one day out of the year. NAID certified companies now know that on any day, at any time, in their plant, in the field, that they can be subject to a random unannounced audit. It's a very powerful motivator to maintain compliance at all times, not just during a scheduled audit. This program proves the effectiveness of random unannounced audits and gives significant teeth to this certification program.
As you can see, NAID is serious about its certification program, as are the data destruction service providers who achieve the standard. The program not only assures customers that they're dealing with reputable and secure destruction services, it also fulfills important data protection compliance requirements. As with anything, companies have a choice. They can develop their own selection criteria for data destruction services and conduct their own routine audits, or they can simply require providers to be NAID certified. We urge you to join the thousands of government offices and private firms around the world that already rely on NAID AAA certification to protect themselves and their customers.